Good morning, Kelly.
Hi, Jen.
So we totally are just taking a random shot at this today.
Yep.
There was no plans. We just woke up and said, hey, you know what? Mother's Day's this weekend. Maybe we should record just a small little bonus episode.
You something to say? We love you.
Exactly. So, I mean, we can get right into it, though.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad that we're doing this bonus episode, though, because I feel like not every parent, because even though it is Mother's Day, some people are mothers that aren't technically women, like the dads that stepped up.
Exactly,
biological to non-bio. I might have jumped way ahead. We had a whole nice conversation. Then you threw the mic at me, and I might have went way ahead in what we had decided.
Oh yeah, you totally did.
Sorry about.
You totally.
I'm sorry.
Did,
Let's scale back. All right.
Well, I can use the beginning for the intro, and then we can't cut this out. Cut this out.
We shouldn't cut it out. Look, we literally do sit and talk about what we're gonna discuss, and we discuss points that we like.
Yeah, exactly.
And we discuss the hard things because the hard things need to be said. And then we get on here and we get riggedy wrecked, and I don't know anything, but it's okay.
And the other thing is like the reason we decided to come together today is because Mother's Day felt like something we should to talk about.
Yes.
It's not always about flowers and brunch. Sometimes it's literally just about survival.
Yeah. It's a jungle out there. It is a jungle out there.
Right. So like we said, this is just going to be a little bonus episode. It's not polished, not heavily scripted. It's real talk about motherhood in every form, which, as Kelly mentioned before, motherhood is in all forms. You've got to think about people that bring children into this world for other people's surrogates.
Yep.
Those are still mothers. They've still experienced the beauty of life. There's parents, that step up, step parents that are biological by all means, even though by blood they're not. Still.
Yes. And that is an immense amount of love somebody can give, to love somebody
else's child.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just like their own.
Yep.
And I mean, we just want to acknowledge that there is many, many, many facets to motherhood. It's not exempt to just a woman that birthed somebody. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. I agree. And you're right. That is a fantastic point to make clear, because I have what I call my bonus children, and I care. I care when they've won something at school. I care if they had a bad day. And I care to listen to them when they get off the bus and they're like, oh my God, this is what happened today. And sometimes they just drop in with their teenage drama and just drop it all out. And it's easier to talk to somebody who technically might not be your biological parent, because you can speak more freely. And it's kind of nice to have that other quote unquote parent that is a friend or a step or whatever, because it then has you with another adult, or your child with another adult, that can turn around and be a beneficial, positive person for them.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's like just motherhood in general is a chosen role.
It is.
Like, I know that people are given a role, but as a mom, but then they are also, choosing to be that mother for anybody, which is like the best feeling in the world. Like, I can't explain how it feels to be there for somebody as that person. So that's always nice.
We could talk about the difference, like we had said about, we'll start with a biological sense of mothers. When you were who you were Jen, I was Kelly, and then all of a sudden we were moms. Did you feel a change?
I think I felt different from the day that I found out I was pregnant. Like, it was weird because it gave me that sense of, oh shit, I'm not just in charge of myself any longer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that made me grasp the whole idea of motherhood, but that did start me on my journey, because I think that every day I'm evolving still. because I'm 100% not the mom I was 5 years ago, not the mom I was 10 years ago. And I'm definitely not the mom I was the day that the kids were born. But I think I'm ever evolving. And as I evolve as a person, I believe I evolve as a mother as well. And I think that's been very, very, like, it's a very blessed feeling. I mean,
enriching.
Yes. And there's nothing that I would enjoy more in life than the bond I have with the kids. I don't know how to explain that, but they've been my best friend. You know, I've grown with them. They've grown with me.
And it's true. You grow up together because you're experiencing this for the first time. They're experiencing life for the first time. And off you go with this weird quasi navigation of, I'm going to make you a functioning adult. And they have to just trust that you're going to do it.
Well, when do you think you felt that shift in
honestly,
to motherhood?
I remember just the day I found out I was pregnant was probably, we had been trying for 3 years. And I think I remember I wanted to go like to the doctor's like right then and there. Like I didn't even want to like wait because I felt like if I waited, it would go away. It wouldn't be real. Like I was so afraid that it wasn't real.
We haven't really discussed it, but have you ever experienced a loss?
I have not.
Okay. I didn't know. We've never discussed that,
no,
but
have you?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was really, really early and it was probably the best thing that could have happened, which is unfortunate to say, but honestly, I think that at the point in my life, I was not equipped.
Yes. And speaking of the loss in different ways, it is a very hard thing to navigate, especially because we had talked last week about partners and everything. If you don't have a supportive partner to help.
Yeah, that's hard too.
And that could go into the invisible work because you then have to carry that and make it through and still be able to be a mother and function for your own children while carrying a grief and still be able to be the wife or the worker or the daughter or the friend. And you still have to go through life and hope that somebody can help you and carry this invisible pain. And honestly, there really isn't anybody who can carry the pain with you. True. And that's just an invisible thing that I think women deal with when there is a loss like that. You carry something with you forever. It never goes away. And then you're different. You're always carrying that difference in you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you move on. And it's not really moving on, but
it's like you have to push it back. Like I think we've said before that it's really true. I never believed it, but as I've grown, I've learned that grief does not shrink. You just grow around it. Yep. And unfortunately, it's going to always be with you, but that doesn't make you who you are. Those sad moments don't make you who you are. They build you into a better you. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain because I think whenever you experience something like that, like obviously it's shocking. And then over time, you just kind of get numb to it, but it's still there.
You know, sometimes the best looking flowers grow out of grief.
Oh, I agree.
So
I agree.
It does. And it prompts a bunch of different stuff. And you know, thinking of that, what is something that you do as a mom that no one ever sees or even acknowledges that you do it? It's almost like a task that somehow was assigned to you, but you don't even remember when. When was that assigned to you? When was that? And why? Why was it assigned to you?
I got to think about that because there's a lot of them that I feel like, but I do get a little bit of acknowledgement for them. So I can't really claim that. So I don't know. Do you have anything?
Well, I clean literally every day. I mean, wipe the counters down, do the dishes, sweep, mop, touch up the bathrooms every day. Do I think anybody notices? Probably not. I mean, I would like you. We don't live in a big house. You can notice. And then I have 3 dogs and 2 cats and everything else that comes in and out. So I feel like you would notice that there's not dirt on the floor and that, there's, Scentsy warmers going and the house smells delicious or, like pee if you let my daughter sit on the couch and, not do anything. That was a previous episode if anyone wants to hear about it.
Well, I was going to say, the things that I do daily, but the the funny thing is honestly, whenever I've gone through and I've cleaned and I've done like my rampage of my cleaning, every time John's always like, "Oh, you got busy today, didn't you?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He'd be like, "It looks nice." So like, I can't really claim that nobody acknowledges it. And even whenever I cook dinner at night, like all the time, everybody's like, "Thanks so much. It was delicious." And so I'm like, it makes it not feel so tedious, but it is exhausting. And I have to acknowledge it because I think John has realized that I've been exhausted with things lately because he has been doing the dishes for me in the mornings. Ooh. And like, I can't even tell you how good that makes me feel. So a lot of times, I mean, I think maybe just the stuff behind the scenes would be it that nobody sees, like the small battles that I have to fight for each one of my family members to others. I mean, that's not, but I don't feel like that's an inconvenient thing because I'm always happy to be supportive of my loved ones, and I'm always happy to be there for them. I am
forever the cheerleader. What. Forever.
Right.
You can do it. I mean, and I'll tell you from Faith, I want to be a singer. I'm there. Let's get you lessons. I want to be an artist. I'm buying you art supplies.
Right,
I'm trying to find you a class. I want to learn how to play guitar. I am getting you a secondhand guitar.
So maybe that's it.
Getting it restringed and I'm paying for lessons that you never even
maybe,
one time.
Maybe that's the thing we do behind the scenes. Maybe we're just
the personal
the little cheerleader. I mean, yeah, but then again, like you see, it's hard for me to even say that I feel like neglected in my feelings of return on that, if that's the right. Because I mean, I feel like that's kind of what the question is. What's the things that you don't get acknowledged for?
Yeah.
But like those little things, I feel like they add up because even though like the kids will be like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate this. I appreciate this." The fact that they're succeeding and achieving the things that they want to achieve, that alone makes me feel like I'm making the right choices.
Yes. Yes. And you almost feel like if you weren't there doing in what we're calling invisible work, they wouldn't be able to achieve it. So technically, yeah, I could see it like that. And then that's a nice way to look at it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, even though it's invisible work and we technically don't have to do it, we could just leave it, but we do it. And we do it out of love. We do it out of wanting to make sure that things run smoothly for our loved ones and you know, that everybody's getting to what or where they need to be. I will, since we were chit-chatting about different things, I will tell you what's something that you do that you kind of felt, and I'm talking about when your kids were little, that you kind of felt a little bit guilty out. Like, I'm going to tell you, I used to go, because I still smoked cigarettes then, and I used to go hide in the bathroom, open the window, hang out the side
window. Oh my God, I did the same thing.
And have a cigarette while the kids would watch Mickey, because that's what and Thomas the Train. And I would have
in the garage
coffee and I would just, I lived on the second floor. So I would smoke my cigarette out the window and drink my coffee and like yell down to my neighbor if they were outside. And nice I took my like 10 minutes of just, you know, I don't have to worry about, I need juice, I need toast, I need you to not let the sock be annoying. Why can't I wear pants on my head? I'm stuck in a bucket. These are things that happened in my life. And I remember a plethora of different things the kids did. And I needed those little breaks. I mean, I needed that 5 minutes in the bathroom and where I had nobody bothered me. And I say that as my kids are 18 and 19 and still will come into the bathroom and talk to me.
Oh, mine do too.
And I'm like, and now it's, I mean, I shouldn't even say it bothers me because now I'm like yelling for them. Like, I'm like, hey, there's no toilet paper in here. Come in. And then in will walk Faye, hand me the toilet paper, proceed to lean against the wall and then have a conversation about her day. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe we way opened up our family.
My kids still do the same to me, man. Jasmine will come in, she'll stand to the side, Dalton will sit in the tub, and they'll just talk to me. And I'm like, does it not matter that I'm shitting? Like, are we good with this? Like, now you can literally hear my poop coming out of me.
Is this something that moms have to deal with, that we no longer have privacy because we're moms?
I think privacy went out the door. I think privacy went out the door whenever I first became pregnant. You got to think about all those exams.
Oh, yeah.
And well, okay, you know what? Yeah. I think privacy went out whenever I first started going to see my gynecologist. So it's like at some point you just become this person. And like, I don't feel like my identity has changed because I still feel like I'm the same person inside, but like, there's no modesty. The kids
No.
do. They come in. They don't care. They don't. It's nothing. And I think back to even as I was a kid, my mom was the same with us. Like we were always in up her ass while she was
You're
doing everything.
What do you mean
doing,
you need to
Mom?
cook Thanksgiving
we don't
dinner
care.
and not carry me on your hip the entire time?
Well, did you ever have a time since the kids came into your life that you feel like you said to yourself, I never imagined that these words would escape my mouth?
Yes. We do not eat crayons. We do not throw poop. We do not try to ride the dog. We did that quite often. I got to tell you, I really hold our dog, and his name was Thug. I hold him at a very high regard because he never once bucked off one of those kids. He let them ride him.
That's great. You don't have like a particular moment that you can think of that like just something happened and you just looked at your life and you said, wow, this is my life now. I can remember one time whenever Dalton was very small and he was just learning to go on the potty. And I was getting ready to get in the shower and he came and he's like, I have to poop, Mom. I have to poop. I have to poop. And I'm like, okay, well then go. And so I left the bathroom and I come back and he didn't flush, of course.
Of course not.
And so
He wanted you to see how big it was.
Jesus.
That's a man thing.
So I look in the toilet and you know the shape that Play-Doh gets whenever you grab it in your fist?
Yes. Oh my God.
And then you let it go. So that's what was in the toilet. And I called him in there and I said, Dalton, I said, did you play with your poop? He said, no, Mommy. I said, are you sure you didn't play with your poop? And he goes, no, Mom, never. Okay.
The whole time his
I said,
hand is
all
sitting
right,
there,
well,
bro.
did you at least wash your hands after you handled your turd? Sure did, Mom. I was like, all right, man.
I love you. Oh, that
It
was
was
great.
the craziest thing.
I do have a good one too.
In that moment, I thought to myself, wow, I have a true chartist.
I remember we had gone to the pool and there was we had a pool. We were hanging out with friends and it wasn't like a huge one. It's one of the ones where you filled it up with water. Like the sides were the foldy plastic, but you could like get it out. And then once you filled it up, it stayed up.
Yeah.
So Faye wanted her friends to come over and Dean wanted his friends and everybody came over and they're all splashed. And we're about like 4 or 5. And Faye is like, man, I want these kids out of my pool. Like they're splashing me. I don't like it. And I said, no, you can't do that. You know, we invited your friends over. Da-da-da-da. So Tom laughs and just says, well, she could just Caddyshack the whole thing. And I said, oh, don't give her an idea. That is literally the entire conversation we had about it. She goes to play. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm watching them and whatever, you know, and Tom's, you know, farting around the yard, whatever. And all of a sudden I hear, Miss Kelly, look what Faye did. And she Caddyshacked that pool.
Wow.
She sat there with her turd floating around, happy as can be because everybody else
had to
was
get out
of that thing. And I just was like,
oh my God.
Faith! And she's just like, yeah, sorry, Faye. I had to share that. But
that is hilarious.
yeah, we got it out and we emptied the pool and we said that was enough for the day. And I think we went inside and did something else. But
oh my God.
Yeah, there we go. And I don't know.
Gosh.
And I'm not going to lie. We watched Caddyshack a lot because we had movies and we didn't have cable back then. So we watched we had a bunch of old movies. So we watched Caddyshack and I never realized the amount of nudity in Police Academy, but holy crap. I was like, that's hilarious. Michael Winslow. And no, it is like 90% boobs.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Anyways. Happy Mother's Day to any guy listening to this who's like, I want to watch a movie with my girl.
I, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you know, Jasmine, I have told you that there's a very vast difference between my children. And with Jasmine, the moment that things were I was just like, oh my God, I have a lot on my hands. It was her 4th or 5th birthday and I'd gotten her a baby alive.
The one you feed?
Yeah, you fed them. They pooped their diaper and everything. They were disgusting, but whatever. And all I could think of the whole time was, oh my God, you better make sure you flush that out every time. Because you can imagine if that baby food just sat in there, it would probably rot.
It does.
Disgusting.
And maggots come out. My sister had one in the 80s and it didn't even stay on there that you had to take it apart and clean it.
Gross.
And it ended up it was gross.
Well, she got one. and she was prepping a little bottle for it. And I went over to her and I said, "Hey, baby." I said, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, just taking care of my dolly." I said, "Do you know how to do all that?" She's like, "Duh, Mom. I read the instructions."
I like that. It was instructions.
It was the best. So like, that's our thing now. Everybody's always like, "Yeah, I read the instructions." But I mean, it was the cutest thing. She was the cutest little thing. And she had this little mousy voice. And I don't know.
Jazzy, you're adorable. And
She
we love
was.
you.
She is adorable. I mean, she's still adorable. Yes. But she was the adorable little thing. Her little smile.
I could picture her going, "Yeah, Ma."
She would put her hand on her hip. I have some pictures of her looking all sassy. I'm gonna have to show you this sassy child I had. And she always liked to play dress up, and she'd wear those clickety clack heels. So you always knew when she was coming to be like clickety clack, clickety clack.
I can picture those heels. Did she have them pink, yellow, or purple?
They were pink, and I think they had a pink heart, and they had a Princess Aurora on them.
Yeah, they were all different because the yellow ones were Belle, and the blue one was Cinderella, and the pink one
and
was
the green was Jasmine.
Yep.
And yep.
No, the green was the princess and the frog, the Tiana. And I like those the best because that is a beautiful
The princess
green.
and the frog didn't exist when Jasmine was little.
Oh, then who was green?
I'm telling you, I told you it was
Listen,
now you made me forget. Jasmine.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Princess Jasmine was green.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this.
This was back in the day. Listen.
Yeah, I know, but I had some kids that had come to me.
What year did The Princess and the Frog come out?
I don't know. It was a good movie. I thought it was one of the better ones. Maybe it's because I like all the
Princess and the Frog release.
I liked that old timey, stuff like that. And even though the other stuff was like medieval, but this was like more old timey for us. So
November 25th, 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
So my kids were 9.
So yeah. So it wasn't like they were in the clickety clacks before the Princess and the Frog existed.
Well, the movie, the story always existed.
Well, yeah. Well, wait, how long when did the story come about?
Way long time ago. It's like
the Princess and the Frog. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The story, yes. But she wasn't a Disney princess either way.
That is true.
I don't know. You got a good one about Dean? You got any Dean moments that made you go, "Oh shit"?
I mean, you know what? I have one that see, we would go to Tom's parents' house quite often, and they were very involved grandparents.
Do you like that I didn't call him Gavin? But anyway, I'm continue. Did you tell him
that is what my character on Skyrim's name is Gavin? When I restarted, I was like, I'm just gonna do a nod.
Did you tell him that I feel like his name should be Gavin?
I did. He goes, weren't you gonna name me like Maximus Meridian Rogers? And I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, I'm not worried about Gavin. I was like, okay. He goes, I was worried about the Maximus.
But I did. I used the appropriate name. Okay. Anyway, continue.
Oh,
your story of
so
Dean?
they were very involved grandparents, and he was the first grandson of the firstborn son of the firstborn son for like, I don't know, generations. So like Dean is a big deal to my father-in-law and them, or my what they were. And so Dean is potty trained, and we're talking about it. And you got to remember, my kids are boom, boom, one right after another. So Faye was there too. I was like, I'm a potty train these guys at the same time.
Right.
So I explained to them, this is what we do when we're home. They run around pantless. Well, they have pants on or a long shirt, depending. But I put one of the potties in each room. So my father-in-law at the time goes, you know what would be better is if you just let him whip it out and pee wherever he wants. So he proceeds to say, when you're at Grandpa's house, you can pee in the yard wherever you want. Dean took that as, if I can pee in the yard at Grandpa's house, I can also pee in the grocery store as well.
Oh, no.
Yes, I had forgotten about that because I had remembered the one where he had peed out of the side of my van on the side of the road. And then he tried to like hop out after he did it. But I remember this one because he wanted to walk. He was a big boy. His sister could sit in the cart. He wasn't going to listen. He wasn't, I'm very much keep your hand on the cart so I know where you are because, and I'm talking to Faye and she's eating grapes and, the bonus grapes you don't have to pay for because the grocery store writes them off. And we're chit-chatting and jabbering. And I look down and Dean's drawers are at the floor and he is just peeing.
Oh, my God.
Not on anything, mind you. He didn't tinkle on anything. He's just peeing on the floor. And I am mortified. And I'm like, Dean. And he goes, Grandpa said, yank it up. You know what happens when you yank it up? Well, your kid gets tinkle in his face and you get tinkle in yours. And everybody at the grocery store looks at you and you leave your cart and then walk away and then have to go back because you forgot your purse. And that is the reason why I don't carry a purse anymore, because that was embarrassing.
That day.
I had to turn around. There was like 7 people standing there and a guy holding a mop when I had to come back in because I forgot my purse.
Oh,
I remembered my kids. And like, he just looked at me and I'm like, I can never shop here again. Never.
That is, that actually took me back to a time when Dalton was little. My kids used to sleepwalk a lot.
Oh, geez.
And we were visiting my aunt, and Dalton started sleepwalking one night and he peed on the hot water heater in her basement. Just like in his sleep.
That was in a movie too. Oh, the movie was called Crooklyn.
What?
Oh, yeah. The little girl, she got lost. I don't know. Oh, my God. It was so weird. I don't know why it popped in my head. That's weird. Anybody?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
She tinkled in the heating thing.
Well, he tinkled on the hot water heater. And then Jasmine used to sleepwalk. And it was crazy because she would like walk. I remember one night she walked into the kitchen. I was like, hey, babe. And she would respond to you. So you would think she was awake.
Yeah.
And she walked into the kitchen. She grabbed a dirty bowl out of the sink. She grabbed a dirty towel out of the laundry. And then she curled up on the couch with it and fell asleep, tucked like with holding the bowl and wrapped into the towel. And I was just like, what is going on? And she was just like, eh. And she woke up like that. And she's just like, oh, well, okay.
Why am I hugging a bowl?
Yeah. The weirdest thing, man. The weirdest thing. I mean, it's little things like that along the way that have made motherhood like so entertaining for me. Like, I know that I laugh and I complain about some things here and there, but honestly, I couldn't have asked for better children. I have the most incredible kids. Like they are, they're working pretty good at being good kids, and I love it. They do a good job at it. But is there things that maybe you don't say out loud, like something that you never say out loud? Can you think of things that you hold back?
God, there's a lot. Like you're talking about to my kids or like in general?
I think in general, probably, because I mean, we talked about intrusive thoughts, but if I yelled everything I thought, I would probably be committed.
Well, I'll tell you this. So, I had a nice, herbal afternoon to which then we were talking about dinner. And I was like, you know what would be really great? Sandwiches. Don't know why. I am completely not a sub person. I'm like, no.
I love a good sandwich.
But I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. So went to store, we get everything. Like I said, very herbally excited. I realized that I had walked around the store and stemmed the entire time. And I didn't, when I was called upon that Faye was like, Mom, you need to stop. I was like, I'm not even doing anything. She's like, yeah, you already been stemming this whole time. And I never realized and I make a conscious effort not to stem like that in public. Not just for me, but for my kids. But when I am like that, I was stemming completely. But my point was I had turned around and I had like lectured her about it. And I try not to lecture people because I mean, there's ignorance and then there's whatever. But like at the end of the day, I'm very much like, you have an opinion. You're entitled to the opinion. That is the point of the world. That is the point of free will for this. And the fact that nothing can change if there's not an exchange of ideas so that we can evolve and we can grow. But I don't ever like to throw what I have with me onto somebody else and feel like I have to explain. I'd never like to say it out loud that I have ADHD, that I STEM. And like, I know that that's something I passed on to my children because both my children STEM.
Right.
And I've never wanted to say out loud that I have children who have special needs, and it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it's just not something I ever wanted to say out loud ever. And I do say it now that my son is autistic. Well, he is, and I can never say Asperger's, and I know I'm saying it wrong.
You said it correct, Asperger's.
Oh,
that's correct.
I always sound like I'm saying Asperger, so
no, that's correct.
Anyways, and you've met him, and he is wonderfully smart. He knows a lot about video games. He can do this. He can do that. He cannot have a social interaction with you to save your life. Like, and that's just who he is. He can talk if he has to, but for the most part, like he is perfectly fine. Silence the entire way. I could probably drive across America, but I notice a lot of things that are me in him.
Right.
And then I notice a lot of things in Faye that are me. Because last night I went and got Faye, and I know we got off topic. I'm sorry. I went and got Faye from work, and we were coming home. So her and I are chit chatting back and forth. And then all of a sudden we're laughing because she's like, can I go stay with my friend Trinity when she goes back home after college? Now Trinity lives in the city. And I'm like, and by city, I do mean like a metropolis city, not going to the next town city. So I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll see. And I said, you've never really slept away from home. And like Trinity has. Trinity stays on campus and Faye lives at home. So I was, just trying to point out the distinction of you being that far away from home, even though she went on school field trips and stuff. I just wanted her to have the awareness of it because, the adrenaline will run out. And she said, well, if anything, I'll just sit there and I'll just count the stripes on a wall. And I said, and then what? Call me at 2 a.m. because you can't sleep and you don't think you have the right amount of stripes there, and you think that you keep coming up with the wrong number, so you want me to count them with you? And she's like, she goes, no, I wouldn't call you. I'd call Ryan, who's her boyfriend. And I go, you wouldn't call Ryan and tell him that you're laying there at 2 a.m. at your friend's house because you can't sleep because you never slept really away from home and you really want your mom? I said, you're calling me. So we just start laughing. She's like, yeah, I would be calling you. And we went back and forth for like 10 minutes. And it was a really nice moment. But I've noticed that girl has my facial expressions when she is done with your bullshit.
Doesn't it piss you off when you see yourself in them?
Yes. And and she has to have the last word. And she is like, how like you don't call out somebody's bullshit because it's not the right time to do it.
Yeah.
She don't give a shit.
Well, that's like, I think that's something with the next generation. There's no like obvious signs for them of what's happening. They can't read a room.
Yeah.
That's it. They can't read a room.
Exactly right. That's
cannot read a room.
Cannot read a room.
Because the moment the kids come in with their bullshit, I'm like, do you sense the tension in here already? Like what?
Yeah. Or we're sitting on the toilet. Come on.
Right.
Tell me later.
I think I'm pretty good at saying everything out loud. There's very few things that I keep to myself. Like, a lot of the things like I don't ever discuss my relationship with the kid's father to them at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like my relationship with him should affect their relationship. So I've never given them a negative word on him. I don't know how to explain that. Like it's never been about him and I. Like I want them to have their own assumptions and their own idea of that relationship. And I think that that's important. I've always seen other people that do share the details of their relationship with the ex or the parent of their child. And sometimes I just feel like that's really toxic. I don't feel like it's appropriate for you to radiate your feelings of that person onto your children.
Because you're right. Because the relationship the two of you had doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have a wonderful,
they don't have the opportunity for a good relationship. Exactly.
Because just because you stepped out doesn't mean that you can't step up.
Exactly. Which I am so sorry. I don't know what is going on, but I am.
It's kind of dry in here.
It is kind of. It's like it's got to be this weather, but it's so humid outside, so I don't know.
Can't make up its mind. It's really starting to.
Yeah. But I think that it's important to let them have their own idea, to make their own assumptions, and like I said, I feel like it's never their place to hear. And actually, I don't even talk. I mean, I don't even think I've ever talked negatively to other people because it's in the past. And I mean, it is what it is.
I walk around and I mean, we spend a lot of time together. So, you ever notice I will pick any stranger out of an entire place and just call attention to something, their shirt, their hair, whatever. I'm like, oh my God, I love your shirt. Yeah. Oh my God, you got a great skirt. Oh my God, you got great hair.
Well, yeah, because it's important for people to feel good about themselves.
Exactly. I try to do 3 random strangers in any random place. Because I figure that is 3 people that are going to go off and be like, man, I was really unsure of whatever I had pointed out. And now I know, like, hey, this looks good on me. I did it yesterday.
Well, and we talked about how you feel insecure about your own outfit.
Oh, my God, yes.
So, but you think immediately that someone means wrong. So I don't know. What are your true intentions,
You know,
Kelly?
not for nothing. You can even point it out.
Are you picking out things that you don't like and you're like, ooh, I like that snide little bitch over there?
Yeah, I know.
Is that what you're doing over there, Kelly?
I kind of wonder sometimes.
Now I feel judged. Ooh, did you see? Did you notice what shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah, it's Dare Keep a Kid Off Drugs. And what did we do before we came up here? Nothing. We didn't do anything. We're
That's
good
right. We're good children.
Yeah, good children. Good flower children.
We're good children. What's something that you feel like as you've been a mother that you wish you could apologize for? There are things that like maybe you have guilt about and you want to go back and apologize. I know my years that I partied and I made stupid mistakes. I feel like there's not enough time for me to be able to apologize for that. I can tell you 100% that I don't think that I was a good mother in those moments.
Now looking at it, yes, I agree with you because I do feel like when I yelled for no reason, like, I mean, at the moment, it was just that volatile reaction to whatever had happened. And then once you get past that initial part and you realize what you had done, whether it be right after you do it, 5 minutes later, 5 days later, however long, you're just like, I can't believe it. And I want to apologize and I want to make it better. But like, can you?
Right. And I think that's the hardest part that no one prepares you for is you do have that mom guilt. You have that feeling of like, oh, is this fixable? Did I fuck up? Did I go too far? I mean, I think honestly, in the moments that I failed as a mom, it was a conscious choice that I made and it was a selfish choice.
Yeah.
And I can 100% acknowledge that today. And I definitely am trying to be better, to be able to show up. Like that's what's most important to me. We've talked about how your presence is most important and how being there is what's remembered. It's not about the small stuff. You know, I mean, it is the small stuff. The small stuff adds up, but it's not about the big grand gestures, and it's not about the moments whenever you think that they're going to remember that forever. It's the moments that you show up that they remember.
Well, you know, and while you're saying that, I want to think about like something that I wish people would stop assuming about moms. Like just because you're a mom, it doesn't mean that you can't have a career or you can't have a podcast or you can't have a blast, you know, hanging out with a friend a couple times a week because your kids are occupied with things or they're older or they're grown. And have your side quests.
Exactly. Don't feel selfish. Like you need that time for yourself. You need to be able to reflect and you need to be able to be a human, have your own identity. Everybody thinks that once you become a mom, that you still don't have your own identity. You do. Embrace that. Still be you. Because whenever you are genuinely yourself, your children will see that. They'll know that you're happy. And those kind of things will be spread. That joy in life, it spreads, and you should embrace it. And
we think about, not for nothing, we do lose a lot. You get married and you lose your last name. You're no longer who you were beforehand. You are now part of this other person, your spouse, partner, whatever. And then you have children. Then your name
then you lose your bladder
different. Now
control.
You're from your wife. Yeah, you lose your bladder.
You lose your bladder control. Sorry,
but you go from
that's physically
Jen to babe, hun, whatever your partner.
And then you go to mom.
And then you go to mom.
And then one day you go to grandma. And
yeah,
I mean, but we all evolve. Like men obviously become parents too. But the thing is like we give up our bodies. We give up our emotions.
We give up relationships with people because
that's true.
They are.
I mean, but you got to think about it. Men do too, because and with the relationships, I mean, more like the only thing that really impacts us is like it's a physical.
Yes.
But I don't think I've never met a woman that can just walk away from their children. I have met a man that can walk away from his children.
Yeah.
But that.
And that
I don't understand that. That's still so hard for me to understand. Like how, I don't think I could ever be a surrogate. It'd just be so hard. That's a completely selfless act in general.
Have a child for somebody
and I
else.
mean, well, yeah. And the thing is like what the point that I think that we're getting at is there's no perfect fit for anybody. Like it just falls into
Now,
place. Like you can't really navigate it with a manual. It's just, I mean, literally just figuring it out.
On the surrogate thing, though, would you say if you had a child for someone else that technically you would be a mother? And I'm going to say it from my point of view. As I'm going to say that somebody had a child and was able to get to be my surrogate, and now I have a child.
Mm-hmm.
That, well, this person carried you and birthed you and loved you and held you inside for 9 months. Between them and you, my child, you guys made me a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she deserves to be celebrated just as much, because without her, we wouldn't be a family. We wouldn't be a mother.
I love seeing stories where the surrogate stays and
At least,
in touch with the family. And
not for nothing, medical things later on, like you never know. And it is nice to have the comprehensive, or because the surrogate could go on and have kids of their own. And I mean, you're figuring sperm donor and whatever else. But
yeah, I was gonna say it depends on whose eggs used and what sperm's used. And I mean, like biologically, but I mean, the whole thing between the biological and the real is just a very thin line for me.
Yes.
Because I feel like
biology doesn't make you a parent.
Exactly. Well, and just like I said with John, like John has been a completely unexpected solid in mine and the kids' lives. And
he's pretty amazing.
He really is. And John is very selfless, and he has taken on that role. And I mean, I don't think the kids ever have called him dad or anything. They think they just call him John, but still, like, the kids value how he feels. They appreciate him, and it's always a big conversation. And I think that he deserves a lot of celebration too. So
he really does.
I don't know. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's like the Mr. Mom in this house. He truly is, man.
Well, I'll tell you,
he's very much more nurturing than I am.
I can't get that, and I'm just going to point out the fact that we have a puppy, because it was one job, Tom. It was one job to say no, and he walked in and looked at me, and he just looked so sheepish, and I can't even get rid of the image in my head, because as soon as I saw his face, I was like, he let her have that puppy. We stayed up and talked about it and said, no more dogs. We have Gus, and he's battling stomach cancer, and he's 15 years old, and we're limping along and keeping him comfortable. And then we have Ginger, who's 120 pounds,
mm-hmm.
and we don't have a big house. And then so
and then he brings home a puppy.
Yep. And not for nothing, a puppy with a Napoleon complex.
Yes.
Who bullies my other animals.
She's a mess.
She is a hot mess, but then she's so damn adorable. And you're like, you're upset. And she like comes over and she like puts her little paw on like your shoulder, and she like looks at you, and you're going, I cannot believe that this thing lives in my house now. And literally is catered to. I mean, the dogs, everything defers to her now. It is insane. But that's that grin one. It wasn't even oh my gosh. And then he stepped aside. There she is with that puppy. And I was like, we had a deal. I didn't have to be the bad guy.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Because they never think about it when moms have to be the bad guy. Why do we always have to be the bad guy? Think about it.
Well, we just want to say, listen, I got to cut off Kelly because she's rambling now. She's going on about this dog. I just want to say there isn't one right version of motherhood. Everyone really is just figuring it out as they go, which is constantly what we say. We're all just trying to figure it out. You can love it and you can struggle with it at the same time. So both things can be true in unison. Also, if this weekend is hard for you and you're not alone in that, we just want to let you know that we're here with you. We got it.
We wish you a happy Mother's Day, a happy parental day, a happy whatever they call you, because you're in a role that is a parental role way.
Yeah. And, if it's a beautiful weekend for you, I'm glad for that too.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I just hope that you all have a wonderful, incredible Mother's Day.
Yes.
And hug your moms.
Yes.
Love your moms. And love your dads. I mean, whoever is that important mother role for you, just send them love. And we send you all of our love. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Girl, bye.
Girl, bye.